Hello, everyone. You are watching the next theme stream. So every single episode that I do, I try or attempt to create a full big box theme from scratch. Uh, Big Box is part of a program called Launchbox. It's a video game front end. If you don't know what it is, I will leave a link in the description, probably on YouTube and somewhere on Twitch. I'm sure it's somewhere on Twitch. And you can check it out. It's basically a place where you can consolidate all of your games, all of your ROMs, all of your media associated to all that stuff, and put it into one place. And you can then customize that menu and make it any way that you want. And in our case, at least in my case, I will be customizing the big box experience. It's much like, let's say, the big picture experience of Steam, if you had full control of what it looked like. And today I will be attempting to do my take on the retro bedroom theme. I know a lot of people have teased different versions of this theme over the years, and I'm just going to do my take on it. My name's Faeran. If you don't know who I am, you might know me from the forums. If you visit the Launchbox forums, I created themes in the past like Bannerbox, Coverbox, Retrotastic, Vertigo, Retrofresh, a few others out there as well. And hopefully, if you're watching this now in the chat, please chat away. Ask me as many questions as you want. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you learn something along the way and that you can start doing your own themes. What's great these days is that Y2 Guru, I don't know if he's around, he created a program called Community Theme Creator. You can find that on the forums as well. And you basically can create an entire theme without knowing one bit of XAML. If you don't know what XAML is, that's great because you don't need to know. I will also leave a link somewhere where you can download the program and you can follow along. I am using a somewhat early build of the Community Theme Creator, but by the time you're probably watching this, it doesn't make a difference. There's probably newer builds. It is a great program. So what do I mean by a retro bedroom theme? And I guess the history here is it's always been a popular request, I guess, to have sort of a bedroom background where you can select your games. And I had stumbled over an image maybe over a year and a half ago, and I had sort of put together a prototype of this theme and thought it was pretty cool, but never really did anything with it. I had emailed the person that created the picture, so I'll show you sort of what the picture looked like, if I can find it here. Something like this. So it was by a guy named Angelo Fernandez, and I'd emailed him, and he gave his blessing. The image basically looked like this. It's if you grew up in the 80s, you'll know all of this stuff that's on this shelf here, starting with the Super Mario Bros. On the top here, and even like the dinosaurs. It says Jurassic Park up here. The VHS tapes, the posters in the back. This basically floods you with nostalgia when you look at this picture. It's pretty awesome, and I believe he made it. It's not the same guy, so it is a different guy, and I believe this guy he seems to specialize in 3D models. So that what you're seeing here is complete 3D render. And he built all of the models on it, which is kind of cool. And so if you look down here, you can see he did the Atari 2600, the Brick game. There's his Nintendo, and then he shows different sort of shots of all of this stuff. It's pretty insane. So yeah, last year I reached out to him, and he just gave his blessings, like, sure, go ahead. And I used one of the images. I think it was this one. So, you know, and I goosebumps. Yeah, I cut out, you know, the this TV screen, and I tried to make it as real as possible. So in this theme that I'm going to try to create, I'm going to try to place everything within the scene itself instead of having the menu floating above the theme. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I thought I'd give a shout out to him. His images are great, but if you scroll through all of his art, I believe this is the only one where he's actually doing anything specific to nostalgia. Like here's his other 3D images, where you know, it's very varied. Yeah, which is cool. I guess he just had a. We need a bathroom theme. Yeah, that'll be next on my list. Maybe it's next. All right, so community theme creator. I have a copy here. Let's get it going. What's good? What I've done already is I put together a bunch of assets. Let's do a new theme. Okay, so I'll just call it retro bedroom, I guess, for now. We will make it 16 by 9. Okay, so that's how you create a new theme. You just go to new and call it whatever you want. All right, down here you can see all the different views that we can have. We are going to start with, I guess, platform wheel 1. Okay, so I had already placed a number of images here a long time ago. I'd say probably the beginning of 2019. So I double checked, and I think it's this one that I'll be using. So you see, I already cut away. What I did here, if anybody's good at Photoshop or good enough, is I cut away the TV, and then I put a transparent layer of like a tube glass that I found, put it over, gave it a little bit of a surrounding shadow, or the inner shadow, and that's pretty much it. That's what you see here. So I'm going to try to recreate what looks like a scan line. So I've got a scan line image. I'll put that over. We'll see how it looks. I also emptied out this space. So even though I love the movie Labyrinth, I kind of wanted this space to be whatever I wanted, some sort of dynamic something over there, depending on the situation. I contemplated for a long time whether I wanted to remove the Nintendo system and then just insert other systems. It just got to the point where it was just too much, and I got rid of that. So after that, I did a number of things, but let's jump right into it and see. It'll be easier once we're inside. So let's start with the platform view. All right. Okay. What's cool about this is that Y2Guru basically changed or recoded this entire area so that he had more control over it. So I mean, as a user, it doesn't really change much for our the way that we use it, which is great. It still acts the same way. It's more polished looking, and it's more functional when you're moving things around. And apparently, it's a lot better on the back end for him. So yeah, it's really cool that he spent the time and did that. All right, so I'm going to create a new group. And in that group, I'm going to put an image. We'll make it full screen. And this is the best way to start adding your media. I just hit that browse button. All right, so there's my media image folder. And the way that this area works is that you have to create a folder, and then inside the folder you just put all the images that you want. You can organize as many folders as you want. So in this case, I'm just going to create one called theme, and I'll put any theme specific images in there. In this case, I'm going to try to use this background. I have an overlay that I don't see. That's great. That's a great start. Oh, here it is. Let's double check scan lines, light, darkness, shot. Don't remember if I installed this. Did. For the longest time, I wondered how I was going to get a lava lamp into that thing to actually be moving. I think this will work. Not 100% certain, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so we'll start there. All right, so we'll start with this image. So basically I have an image element. I have not told it what image to use. So now that I added a folder called theme, find the background. Perfect. There's my background. The only thing on top of it is the wheel, which I will move over here for now. And you can see I cut out the lava lamp. I think, let's see how this works. Hey, Goanian, is that how you say it? Watched you for Worm and found out you do overlay stuff. Forgot I followed a while. Oh, hey. Yeah. For anybody from Launchbox. For everybody on Launchbox, I actually streamed a game called Worm Online for as part of the Factional Fight Brothers. For how long was it? Since 2012. So for a very long time, I was streaming with my brother that game. And it's exciting times for that game. If anybody wanted to check it out, it's Worm Online. They're about to release the game onto Steam. It's an old game from the creators of Minecraft, actually, from 2006, something like that. And it's just been chugging along, and we loved it. Me and my brother love that game. We still love that game, and we're planning on playing it on the Steam release as well. We might actually stream it again. We'll see how that goes, if we can find time. But yeah, that's Worm Online, WURM. All right, but yeah, for you, Goanian. Yeah, hopefully you find this exciting. Launchbox is also an exciting thing, and also something that I love to do. Okay, so we have the background. Let's bring in the lava lamp, see how that works. I'm really curious. So in this case, it is a video. So it's a user-defined video. I'm going to place it behind this image. Oh, I guess I should call this image background. And I'll call this lava lamp. Okay. Lava. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Guess we have to not make it part of that. Over here. You know, that looks like a bit larger. Get it right in there. There you go. Nice. I'm just gonna look at it for a little while just to see if I like it. It does look pretty sweet, eh? And I believe it's like have I been dissing you, Y2 Crew? Like the whole 10 minutes that we've been on. Actually, I guess it's been 20 minutes. But I guess you'll have to rewatch it to find out if I'm telling you the truth. That does look pretty sweet, right? Yeah. Yeah, it could have been that. That as well. Maybe I've just been talking the opposite. I finally did the lava lamp thing. Yeah, this is awesome. Oh, look at it go. Man, yeah, it's better than I actually thought it would be. I spent like a year thinking, how would I get it to look like it's moving without ruining the image? I guess this is the way. So I'm gonna save this. So in order to save it, you just hit the save button. It goes back to sort of the preview view of it, where you can take a look at what it looks like here, and it looks great. Wow. Yeah, okay, let's move on. let's move on. We can I can stare at it all day. I mean, I guess that's the thing about lava lamp. All I really needed was oh, thank you very much for the follow there. Wild CRG. Yeah, I needed it to have the same glow as this part here. Because I didn't want to change the color there. I guess I could have changed the color, but hey, it worked out. Okay, so let's make this even cooler. Let's add a couple more things. So I'm going to call this like the background layer. Oops. I'll call this the background group. We got the wheel here. I do want to mess around with the wheel. For now, I'll just make it encompass this TV screen, which means I need it to be behind as well. Okay, I need to be behind the background, and I'm going to make it vertical. We'll do clear logos. I'm going to use this assist button, which is great, and I'm just going to do vertical. It's going to set all of these numbers to something that hopefully is visible. Animating the glow. Wait, you want me to animate the glow now as well? I probably couldn't I? That's okay. I'll think about it later. I'll think about it later. There is other things that I have planned. I'll get to that point. See if it's actually needed, or maybe it'll be too much. These numbers. So for anybody that cares, I do want to make a video maybe about these numbers. But the gist is, let's look at the main one. So this one here, the selected Z, we say in Canada, the selected Z position, that's the distance that the camera is to the menu. So you're moving it in and out. The lower the number is, the closer it's going to get to that image, and the larger the number, the further back it's going to be, which makes the image look smaller. And so right now we have it at 1.1. I'm just going to trust that. We'll look at that later. The second one here, sorry, I'm doing this backwards. That's the item Z position. So the selected Z position is actually the item that you're on. So you can see that the camera is I could be saying this backwards. Anyway, I'm gonna make them the same. Actually, I'll just leave it like that, and we'll take a look later. That's what's great about the assist. Yeah, you should just stream your new builds all the time. Y2 Guru. Okay, I think I'm going to stop the wheel at that, and we'll move on. Okay, the next one, I actually, maybe I should create another group. Put it below this one, and we'll call this one what do I need here? Maybe we'll do the video. We'll put the wheel in there. And then we will put, what else? I want to put the video. Selected item video. All right, how am I going to do this? Let's think about this. Something like that. Before I get too far, basically, the way that I create themes, and you can create themes whichever way that you want, but essentially what I do is I lay out all the elements first, and then I think about animations. But at the same time, I'm always thinking about how you're going to animate it, and that'll become more clear once you get to the animated layer. An example would be, you've got the wheel and you've got the video. So they're on top of each other. And what I want to do is I want to make it so when you're selecting the wheel, you're moving the wheel up and down, that you're seeing the wheel, and when you're moving and then when you stop and you select an item, it shows the video and the wheel fades away. Or you could have the opposite. So you have to make a choice as a theme creator. Do you want to animate the video, or do you want to animate the wheel? Do you want to make it so the video fades away and then the wheel, you're moving the wheel around, and then when you stop, the video comes back? Or do you want to make it so the wheel comes into view when you're moving and then the wheel fades away? And you just sort of have to make that choice. And there's no right or wrong answer. You just sort of have to be aware that that's the choice that you have to make. You can't multitask Y2 Guru. You can't just focus on coding and focus on streaming at the same time. I think some people might be able to do that. All right. There's never a wrong thing when you're streaming. God, that can't be right. Okay, so what are we doing here? I'm missing a lot of the chat here. I think the inner monologue is exactly what everybody wants to hear. Alright, so I had to make a decision when I was creating this. We'll get to that. But let's do the above layers. So this, I don't know what to call this layer yet. Let's add another image. And this image, actually, before we can do this image, I wanted to make this extra nostalgic, like as nostalgic as you possibly could. Like you were a little kid in your bedroom with a TV. I didn't have a TV when I was a kid in my bedroom. But if I did, this is what I would think that you'd be watching on TV. The commercials that you watched when you were a kid, the advertisements that you saw in video game magazines. That's what I wanted to really represent with this theme. And I basically gave it my best shot, and this is what I did. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this the platform advertisement. And the way that you do that is down here where I'm going to select which image I have. I'm going to browse. I'm going to create another folder. And I'm just going to call it advertisements. And I'm here. Let's see. Here it is. I created a bunch of system advertisements. I had to convert them to PNG because I think that's the only ones that are used. Yeah, you just spent a week rewriting the group element list control, which I did sort of bring up at the beginning. And I can't wait for this, the parent-child really. When did I actually recommend to do something like a parent-child thing? The nested elements. It's been a while, so I can't wait. 14 months ago, yeah, something like that. Okay, so I don't have them all. You can see I have a whole bunch of advertisements, and they really, this is not an advertisement. I just randomly picked Double Dragon. But yeah, why Atari is #1. That is like the most nostalgic thing I've ever seen. I used to have a bunch. I think I have Yar's Revenge over there somewhere. Used to play this at my grandfather's house all the time. Here's what makes the Atari 5200 Super System so super. God, they have to tell me. Look at all that text. That's a lot of telling us why it was so super. Oh, there's like, it's a chart. Let's see, a nice table. 7800 versus the NES versus this Sega Master System. Wow, look at that. It's got more RAM and more ROM. But I love how it's so, I love how it's so honest. Like, it's got half the amount of colors as this Sega Master System. Jaguar, which we all know was all about 64 bits. 64 bits. So I love to see, I don't know about you guys, I love to reminisce or to just see how the marketing team really was advertising their systems at the time. And it just shows you that it's like a snapshot of that era in time, the way that marketing works, the way that they thought their system compared to the alternatives at the time, the competition. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to paste the advertisements here. I also have a bunch of videos. Now the question is, I believe, so the videos, you can see here, here's the community theme creator folder. Inside it has a my theme project, so all your theme projects go in there. And then inside of that, it creates a folder, and inside of for your theme, and inside of that, there's all of the folder structure. And what we want is the big box media overrides. And here we can override people's platform videos. That's what I want to do. In this case, I downloaded a bunch of awesome commercials. I didn't download all of them. I've got a good bunch. Let's see, minus the readme, I got about 44 vintage commercials. So it's a good start for whoever likes this theme and wants to add to them. All right, so I placed them in there. I wonder now that I placed them in there. Actually, let's switch to something more nostalgic. What do you guys think? I know the NES is probably the most nostalgic for me. Yeah, it's the nostalgic de facto standard for anyone that had one. I know not everybody had one. Like you, Y2 Guru, you never had one. Anybody from like Europe, I would say that they probably lean way more towards some sort of microcomputer, like a Commodore, like the Sinclair Spectrum, which I like. Living in Canada, I never even heard of the Sinclair Spectrum at all. I don't even think it penetrated this market at all. Like here, I did grow up with a computer, but it was I had basically my dad's old work laptop, IBM work laptop, and he brought home once an, I think it was a 7 or 8 inch monitor. And it was like literally like it was wide and tiny, I guess, and it had 8 colors or something like that on it. And we would load DOS games. Like I think my first ever DOS game was Space Quest 3. I love that game. Playing it on an 8-color screen with a laptop. And without that screen, I believe we were playing it just on the laptop itself had a monochrome screen. So the first, months of playing Space Quest was all monochrome. Oh. J Salter 84, thanks so much for the follow there. Yeah, we had. I mean, I beat the game. I beat Space Quest on that monochrome little screen, and that's what I had. Eventually, my dad bought us a computer. I think it was a 386 or a 486, one of those. So yeah, I mean, I was big on computers, but those were the computers that they had here. And way before that, it was the NES, it was the Super Nintendo, it was the Sega Genesis. Those are the systems that I had. And then I made the stupidest mistake ever in my life. I took all of those systems, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the the Sega Genesis, and I think it was me and my brother, and we decided at the time, forgive us for being so young, to trade them all in, all the games, all the systems, for a brand new Nintendo 64. We traded everything we had, and there was a lot of games too. We had so many games. We traded all in, and it paid almost for our Nintendo 64. I think we had to pay like $15 more. Oh man, you threw yours away. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stories like that where you just that must sting. That must sting now. Just throwing them away. I guess at least we got a Nintendo 64 out of it. Yeah, you really don't realize. And I regretted that so much that by the time I got into high school, there was a little shop near our high school, and I would always visit, and I would always come out of that store with something, like I bought something from that store. Like mostly it was a Nintendo game or a Super Nintendo game. I would buy like a complete in box version of something for like $20 back in the day, and I still have all that stuff, luckily. But anything original, we traded for that N64. I still have that N64 though, which I guess is good. Anyway, so I can't remember. Let's go back to the theme. I can't remember if I put the videos in the big box overrides videos area. I don't know why to grow. Is it supposed to also show us those videos in the preview screen here? I can't remember, or maybe I would have to export it into big box to see them. That's okay. Okay, so I have to just export them. That's fine. So we will see them later. So for this image, I'm going to use the advertisements that I just put into here. So let's see, platform advertisement. We are going to do metadata. So in order for us to say, how do I call a particular platform's advertisement, and not like another platform, I basically say I want it to find the platform name. I'll say, please find me the platform name, like in this case, Nintendo Entertainment System, and then look in the advertisements folder for something with that name. So luckily, if you take a look at what I actually did here, into media, you can see that all of them are just named, and there's actually a standard, sort of like a Launchbox standard on what you want to call everything, and that's what I try to just match. So you can see here, Nintendo Entertainment System, and then it finds it. Looks in there for something with that name, .png. One mistake that I always do is that I don't believe it ever will look for a JPEG. So I just had to convert them all. Alright, so what I want to do... Yeah, so what I found the best way to actually find out what the name exactly is to use the editor. And let me just show you guys. I did this in a previous video, but to use this utility and build a fake ROM list, and it's not really used for that, but what will happen is it'll build a folder with the exact name for every single system in the database, and then you can just copy those names. So then at that point, you just do it enough times that you memorize sort of the system names. All right. So I'm going to try to fill this space. And one thing that you'll notice, doesn't quite fill the space. So you sort of have to say, okay, I've got all these different size advertisements. How am I going to fill the space? Different ways you can stretch an image. So in my case, let's see what I want to do. What do I want to do? I can do uniform to fill. I think there's problems with that. You guys will have to tell me. So there's two things that I can do here. I can put an opacity mask on this thing, and I believe it's something I did not grab, did I? Okay. Take a look. One of these, not that one. This one. Maybe it's this one? Okay. So if we take a look at well, the way that I was looking at it, the reason why I could probably get away with not using uniform is because it potentially could continue off the screen. Like, it could just be a really wide poster or something, and you're just only seeing part of it. Okay, so in this case, I could do something like this. So does it make sense to give it this sort of ripped feeling, or not give it the ripped look? And I have something here. So I always try to make it blend in with the rest of the image, and the only way to really do that is to add another image on top of the platform list. Let's just call it poster overlay or something like that, and then we will believe it's in theme. I have this one. Nope. Poster transparent. Okay, that is really odd. Okay, there it goes. I actually think I can full screen that. Okay, so it gives it that purpley tint that the rest of the image sort of has. And that'll just apply to any poster image that they have there. So no rip. I'm getting a no rip. I'm getting a... Okay, so I'm getting rid of the rip, I believe, which is fine. But you can always see that that is always an option with this opacity mask. It just uses an image that's, I believe, black. It'll show the black part, and then the transparent part, it will show nothing. Okay. Let's get rid of the opacity mask, so that's what it looks like. Shadow, sure. Give it a tiny bit of shadow. Sort of like a contact shadow is what you would want to call it, which is very tiny, but very sharp. So you see it a lot, but you only see it very small amounts. Oh, I gotta make this a tiny bit smaller. Better. Like that. Okay, let's look at this. So the direction we want is probably just like that. It's gonna pump out just a little bit here. We're gonna do maybe, let's start with 1 pixel. And it's not very blurred, so let me just do like 3. See what it looks like. Okay, very, very, very tiny. You can barely see it. More than likely because of this background is also black. Let's try 2. Let's try 3. Alright, I'm beginning to think that I'm doing it way too little. Let's see what it actually looks like. Nothing. It looks like nothing. What does it look like with a rip and a shadow? Yeah, we can always take a look. Okay. Put it in a glossy frame. I kind of wanted it to match the other images that are on this thing. As much as you possibly can without it actually being part of the image. Okay, I'm like not seeing this this shadow at all, actually, which is kind of strange. Do a shadow right. Oh, shadow left. I need it left. I wonder if the shadow's not there because of something that I'm not seeing. Yeah, that's okay. Actually was doing a shadow just... Yeah, the depth is 0. But making it bigger doesn't seem to help right now. That's okay. We'll come back to that. It's probably just a visual thing. Let's leave it at that for now. It will probably look... The shadow will probably be there when you export it to the big box. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it like something like this. And maybe 90. Oops, 900. Maybe 90. And we'll move on. So that's the idea here. Let's take a look at what that idea actually is. So I move to whatever, Nintendo DS. There's a poster. Game & Watch. Pocket Power. And then you've got the I don't know, Sega Mark III, which was not released in Western market, so I don't even know what it says there. Yes, yeah, it'll become too vertical somewhat. The other option is to just stretch everything. You know, there's no perfect option for everything if you want to fill the space, so you just have to live with what you got. Yeah, this one doesn't look too bad. Take a Dreamcast. You can see here, if you just had this advertisement, you'd have no idea what it was for. They were really big on the 99.99. You know what? I don't think alignment works when dealing with uniform to fill. Let me see if I'm wrong. Yeah. It doesn't really conform to that, unfortunately. I don't know if it's because it doesn't know how big it is, you know, the top lengthwise. It just sort of does its thing. Anyway, I don't know if I have it for every single one, but I do have a poster for quite a few of them. You could see the difference here. So PlayStation comes out, and there's the big image of the new PlayStation. It says, and you can find them on this station. I guess they're referring to all the games that came out with it. And then as soon as the PlayStation 2 comes out, and Sony knew at that point they had the best console on the market, or the most popular one, that they didn't even have to put an image of it at all. I was trying to find different PlayStation 2 images, and it was like there was a lot of images exactly like this, a lot of marketing images. Super Nintendo. Now you're playing with superpower. And they're looking at all the different games for it. I mean, you can take a look back in the days of like Intellivision, where it was all about how much better the Intellivision was to Atari. Everybody was comparing it to Atari. And then they had this guy. Anybody know who that guy is? But he was in all of their advertisements back then. Alright, let's move on. So we'll go back to the Nintendo Entertainment System. A couple more things that we want to do. We want to give some context to all of this. Yeah, he was somebody important. I don't know if he was like part of Mattel I feel like I learned his name at some point as well. So let's give a few pieces of context here. We are going to add the system time. Where'd that go? Right here. And I'm going to try to make it look as familiar or as close to this as possible. Let's see if I can do that. So I have a program here. Do I still have this program? I do not, or I did not open it. I think it was called Instant. No, eyedropper? You know what? I don't remember. Let's just do our best. There's a font. Hopefully I still have it. A digital font. Okay, we'll make it a bit bigger. One thing for people that don't know, when you're coding in XAML, yeah, I can use Photoshop. If I had it open. If you're coding in XAML, it's very hard to work out all the different resolutions. So you're building this theme and you're building it for, let's say, in my case, a 1080p display. And it would be extremely hard to make it so the theme would also work well on other resolutions like 4K or 720p. But what's great about using the theme creator is that it takes care of that for you. I know Y2 Guru spent a lot of time making sure that when it scales properly, even when switching to other resolutions. And there's also with animations, moving things with animations also has many problems just using XAML. So I would highly recommend, even if you're building a theme at all, use this program. Okay, let's take a look. Ugh. Okay. I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, there's a lot of different colors. I'm gonna try this one. I know you guys can't really see. There's the color. Let's take a look. System time. Give it that color. I'm gonna go up to 20, see if it's too big. Too big. 17. Keyboard key. What's that? I know it's really sharp. But I could solve that, couldn't I, if I added like a slight blur to this. Too much. Too little. Can I do 0.2? Nope. Okay. 1 it is. Ah, a glow. You think a glow could do it? Let's take a look. So in order to do a glow, instead of a blur, I would have to use, whoa, thank you, Ali, 1988. Yeah, I would have to switch the blur to a drop shadow. Maybe that'll look better, eh? Let's see. Do the same color. Bring it up. That's if the drop shadow's working on this element. What do you think? It's gonna be really hard to find out. I'm just gonna get rid of that just to see. Yeah, it's working for this one. There it is. So this is gonna have to just be 0, and then I'm gonna have to open it up. There you go. Maybe raise it a bit. I'm also going to bring down the opacity maybe to 90%. And then at this point, I can see it's just slightly off. The color is just not bright enough. So if I just raise the brightness a tad, I don't know, that's good enough, right? Nice, first live stream you were able to catch. Well, if you have any questions, you can always let me know now. Oh, I'm missing so many, a lot of the chat there. So what is Launchpad or Launchbox all about? I don't remember the name. Yeah, it's Launchbox. Yeah, I guess Jason, you already answered that. It's a front end for arcade cabinets or big box or your TV. What's a front end? Think, yeah. Did somebody already answer that? You gotta think like Steam, big picture, something like that. If it consolidated all of your games properly, and then you can just make it look like, make the menu system look like whatever you want. In this case, I'm trying to make it look like a retro style bedroom. All right, let's take a look at, yeah, so I like the time looks really nice. A couple other things that I want to do. I did want to do an overall. I'm a big proponent for blending things in, making things look really, trying to make things look as natural as possible. So in this case, I'm going to put an overall shadow on the whole theme, on everything. Let's see, called darkness. Okay. And I can control the opacity to something that I like. Actually, let's just leave it at 100 for now, because I'll just call this darkness overlay. Leave it for now because I also have another image which I'll put underneath it, and this will be a sort of like a light. It's actually the television light. So I want to make it so the television looks like it's flashing, and I can do this with a few different steps. The first one would be to add an actual light. So an image, a transparent image of a purple light. I don't even think that's the one that oh my. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. I'm gonna make that full screen. Oh, where did everything go? Okay, so in this case, I just wanted it to be maybe like 15%. Maybe less, 10%. I feel like I'm missing an image. Let's double check. I am definitely missing an image. Let's create it now. I'll kind of show you. I'll kind of show you guys what I do and how I create this stuff. So I'm just gonna create a screenshot here. Yeah, I've got two screens, so I need this to be 1920. Okay, so here's Photoshop. There's what it looks like now. What I really wanted to do, something like this. Think about this. Something like this, and I want to feather it maybe 30. inverse. And not what I want at all. That's not what I want at all. Okay, so make this bigger, so something like this. Feather more like 50. Let's see what it looks like. If I just did white. You know what? I'm going to do this by hand. Because I just need it to be as faint as possible. Although at the same time, I do want it to match sort of. Okay. Yeah, that was a bit too much, wasn't it? Alright. Sure. Like a doofus, I didn't add a new layer for that. Okay, let's do it one more time. Okay. Save that. In this case, I'm going to save it directly into this folder here. I might not even use this, we'll see. Okay, let's bring this back in. Put it below these two lights. See if it'll actually show television light. Didn't exactly do the greatest job. Okay. Alright, so we want it to be approximately 15-ish. Okay. And to just give you guys a little bit of the idea of what I had here was that I wanted to make it start immediately. I love that this drop-down menu is here, by the way, Y2 Guru. A more yellow light might be slightly better, you're right. Although the yellow light is really only coming from this guy. There seems to be another purpley light somewhere. Let's just take a look at what it looks like. I want something that starts right away. Opacity. Yeah, let's just make it go down to 5%. Let's take a look. Give it some sort of easing in and out and see what that looks like. Is it too little to see? It is, isn't it? Oh, you know what it is? I didn't reverse it. There you go. Reverse it. Let's repeat it, I should say. And now you can see that it's way too much. Elastic easing. Let's give it a shot. Bring it down to 30. Not really digging it. Let's bring this up to that. Might be that it's too fast. Or you can't see it, like it's not part of your eyes. Okay, what do you think? Oscillations. And like I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. You know what it is? You know what it is. It needs to be auto-reversed. And then I don't know. I'm not sure I like it. I mean, I'm gonna, and maybe it's just because I don't really know the oscillations. Like I might have to, I don't know, make this 10 seconds or something. And you just sort of briefly see it. I don't know if that's even noticeable in the stream. I can see it on my screen. It's what's great about this setup is that you can adjust the lighting. Know that this one really washes out things, so I want to really use this one sparingly. This layer. I guess this one's just called the purple light, and then this one would be called the television light. Of course, all of this is just extra polish, really. So now the question would be, how much do I really want to see this? Well, bring that down to 8 seconds, and I know it's going to happen 10 times in those 8 seconds, is something like that. And we're going to bring this up to 45%. Just want to slightly have it more visible. Okay, I can see it, like it's kind of crazy. I want it to be there without attracting your eye, if that makes sense. Like, I want you to be like, oh my god, it's actually doing that. And not you to be like thinking, oh wow, it's like really in your face. Yeah. Anyway, so lots of layers. That can be controlled. So if you don't like what you see here, I will have all of this for download, and you can go in and adjust the opacity of everything. There's only a few more things that I want to see here. I'm trying to remember. think we're ready for a new layer, and we're going to call it the information layer. I'm calling it layer, but it's really a group. Bring it down here. The sticky note, which actually is not part of, the original image. It's something that I added in Photoshop. So I just wanted a place to put some information. In this case, I don't know, what do you think? Let's do some text. Let me remember what. All right, so it's a font called Always. So let's start with platform name. We will, I guess that doesn't really matter too much. Bring this all the way up, and we're looking for always metadata to platform name. Oops. Let's keep it there. We'll center it and make the text black. Okay. I like the size. Hey, EA. Glad you can make it. And hey, who did I miss? Scratcher? Glad you guys are here. Yeah, we're creating a retro bedroom theme. Let's make this 2 lines. So, what are we gonna wrap this with overflow? There you go. How does that look? Is that getting cut off or anything? Pretty sure that I don't need more than 2 lines. So you want something like that, and then maybe we want something like the total amount of games. What else would people want to see? Release date. Let's do a release date. Let's see. Can I paste any of this stuff yet? I don't know. Y2 Guru. Appearance. What else can I paste? Foreground. Let's just do layout. And what kind of date do people want to see on a sticky note? So many options. Alright, so I gotta change this to always. When it's all numbers, it looks a little bit larger. Anyway, let's take a look at a different format. Do people want to see year? I'm glad that you got the email. Scratcher. Yeah, I personally like year. You know, I'm not necessarily caring as much that it was released in January as opposed to like November, because it's just there to give you the idea of when it was released. Okay. And I also want maybe the total amount of games. Let me think about how I'm going to do this. $19.85. Yep. Do I want it to say total games and then have something under it? Let's see. Text. know what? Let's get rid of this one. Let's just paste this again. And we will change this to total games count. There you go. I will also paste the layout. There you go. Paste one more time, and in this case we'll do a constant value where it's just called total games. And we'll paste the layout and bring it up a little bit. I don't know. Let's take a look at what we got. I would say imagine like a kid just scribbling down a little bit about his system. Yeah, so this is just the platform view so far. Man, we haven't even gotten to the other ones. But what's great about this is that most of the work that we do here can be transferred over to game view, which is great. We don't have to worry so much. Okay, but in saying that, there are a few things that we need to look at. Okay, most notably, you have an idea. Okay, what is your idea before I move on? The advertisement. Awesome. When in arcade, the advertisement is not applicable. That is true. I did make an arcade advertisement. But you're right, I should have added some sort of fallback or something, which I don't have. Oh. So arcade, I just used an arcade. I think I just used Double Dragon. There it is. But you're right. I could use the visibility conditioning that's coming out, although then I would have to wrap my head completely around that. So I haven't faded in the wheel or anything, or added really any animations to this other than the light. In saying that, I do want to take a look at what it looks like. Okay, but before we do that, let's take a look at the wheel. So at the beginning of this video, I had said we could either animate the video or we could animate the wheel. What I think I'm going to start with is animating the video. So let's take a look at the logic behind that. So what we want to do is create a new animation, and we're going to say that during the selection, I'm going to make whatever the opacity is at the time, I'm going to fade it to 0 in 0.2 seconds, let's say, giving it just a regular easing function. I think that's it. So that's what we're going to do. So it's going to take 0.2 seconds to fade itself out. Underneath the video will be the wheel, so you'll just see the wheel. Okay, so second animation that we need is to bring it back. We're going to create a new animation where once I've selected one of the platform games or platform systems, we're going to fade it back. So whatever the current opacity, I want to make it 100%. I want it to start. I mean, I can start it right away, can't I? Would that be too quick? Let's add a 0.5 second delay. Once you select an item, 0.5 seconds, and then it fades back. You think it's too quick? I can make it a second. Oh, you think it's 0.5 is good? Let's see. And then on top of that, I will make the actual fading to 100% a 0.2 seconds, and we'll see if that's too quick or not. Not really sure. We can sort of see that, right? I could have copied the original and then pasted it. You're right. Somewhat. It goes away and then it comes back. If I choose something, that's how quick it would probably be. 1064, it goes away and it comes back. Might be too quick, we'll see. But let's find out. I'll simply publish the theme. Use the cursor key up and down. Let's take a look. Awesome. What do you guys think? Fades away. Stop at 1. Comes back. I mean, we're going to see what it really looks like in a second. Let's take a look. I don't remember if I upgraded Big Box. I feel like I upgraded it to 11. And I hope I did. .2 is out. Already? Anyway, I'm gonna skip this video. Yeah, okay. We're just to save time. Okay, where am I here? I'm not going to do that right now. I've got way too many themes that are incomplete here. Let me see if I can find, did I call it retro bedroom? Let's take a look. All right. There's my wheel up at Game Boy. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Yeah, I have the wheel and the TV. Let me see if I can make this louder. I usually have Big Box really low. Whoa, okay. That's making this sound. Okay, let's make this slower. Whoa, okay. Hopefully you guys did not hear that. Oh. That's really loud in my ears. You know what it is? I'm gonna make it lower here, because that's really blasting my ears. But I'm gonna make this a bit higher. Okay. What do you guys think?
They said it wasn't humanly possible. All the power and excitement of Nintendo, right?
It wasn't humanly possible.
Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Game Boy comes complete with batteries and the outrageous new game Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use Video Link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
You know what? Some of these I really like. I don't like that one. Did I do this one?
Sega challenges you with the ultimate video games. Games that'll blow you away. Like Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And coming soon, Monopoly. Knockout games like Rocky.
Oh, that's so funny. Fading of the poster. Yeah, I can do that.
Outrun. Only on the Sega system. Sega, the challenge will always. Sega challenges you with the...
Oh, I love this one. Look how funny this one is. Oh, that guy. Look, there's a second one. They really love their Here, watch this and tell me if you think this has anything to do with the PlayStation 2. This is the whole commercial. and you can see that the poster and the video, they were so confident that they didn't need to make it about the PlayStation 2, and they still sold so many. Oh, and when they were coming out with the Nintendo DS, look at the advertisement for the Nintendo DS. DS. They passed it. This is how confident they were with the DS. That's it. Oh, and you gotta love the Nintendo. Man, it was so powerful that it turned your house into a rocket ship. They really had good advertisements back then, I would say. And look at when you get to like the older systems. Remember I was talking about the Intellivision. Look at this. This guy was all over everything.
So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try. I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball. Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to.
This is so 70s.
From Mattel Electronics.
That's right. Only one conclusion you can come to. Same with, of course, the Atari 2600 was the game, right? That was the system.
Excuse me. Uh-oh. George again. Ooh, Atari's ASCII battle. It comes with 27 games, but that's just for starters. You can get 9 cartridges, 187 games. Blackjack. Oh!
I'd like an Atari.
Sorry, only our demonstrators left. Mine! No, George. Mine.
The new video computer system by Atari. More games, more fun.
And then by the 5200, Atari was not the thing by this time.
This is the new Atari Super System. Arcade Atari Super System. You may like the Super System better. It has some of the best arcade and sports games. It plays every Atari cartridge.
Oh man.
Even does something no arcade game can.
Telephone! It's Judy!
It lets you freeze the action.
Ooh. You could pause it.
Super System.
Whoa, okay. By the 7800,
What do you want? What do you think? What do you want? I want the latest games anywhere. What do you want? I want the sounds that curl my hair. What do you want? 7800s everywhere. What do you want? I want a Atari. I do.
I was so I was complete. You knew you're in the 80s on some sort of
What do you want? What do you think? What do you want?
some sort of Saturday morning Cartoon Network. Oh, this
I
one.
believe your system is
Huh?
the most advanced in the universe. Let's review the numbers. Sega Genesis is 16 bits. 3DO is 32 bits. The Atari Jaguar is 64 bits.
64 bits.
Clifford! With 64 bits, 3D graphics, real-world animation, and lightning speed that you can only get with Jaguar, which is more advanced? Clifford!
Can you repeat the question?
Jaguar! Jaguar! Jaguar!
You got a box Jaguar? That's awesome. I don't think I ever had a Jaguar. But yeah, amazing graphics. And if you learn a little bit about the Jaguar, it's not like it was all about the bits back then, right? Once the Super Nintendo came out, all the competition wanted to compare their system with the Super Nintendo through bits. So it technically did have 64 bits, but it was split between, what was it, like the graphics and the sound or something like that, or it was two separate 32-bit graphics. Or sorry, two separate 32-bit chips. The Amiga CD32. I don't think I ever had the Amiga CD32. I got really interested in the Philips CDI, but mostly because of its oh, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Howie. I mostly got into the Philips CDI just because of its history. So if you know a little bit about its partnership with Nintendo and how that fell apart, and then all of a sudden Philips had the right to create games based off the Nintendo characters. That was an interesting time. So that's basically why I became interested in the Philips CDI. It was just because of that. Anyway, so the theme looks pretty good. A couple things that yeah, it was just like the Sony. Actually, the Sony Nintendo partnership came after, I believe, the Philips CDI partnership. The Philips Nintendo basically screwed over both of them, both Philips, and screwed over Sony. And then, of course, then Sony just said, we'll create our own system. And we know how that went. The Philips GameCube console, yeah, I've seen that in videos. Like a big beast of a system. Your Jaguar came with a game put into a wrong labeled game card. That's pretty awesome. Wonder if that's worth any money. Probably is. Anyway, so what did we get out of this? We got that probably need a fade on that poster. But overall, if we're just looking at it,
Some of you believe your system is the most.
let's play one that's we haven't seen. Do I have a MAME one? I don't think I have one. Yeah. I also don't have a Windows one. Who is that? Paul Rudd? Like overall, I think that it looks pretty good. It was a Panasonic, wasn't it? The silvery one. It is Paul Rudd. Superpower. Yeah, so overall, the platform theme looks really cool, and so let's exit that. An arcade info instead of an advertisement. Yeah, could do that. Philips CDI, that was the system with the Nightmare animated Zelda game. It's not. It was the system with 3 Nightmare animated Zelda games. Which I think is pretty funny. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to polishing at least a couple more things here. So we wanted to make sure that we have some sort of fade to this platform advertisement. That shouldn't be too hard. Let's see the best way to do that. Do we want to fade it out? It also had a Mario game. Mario, he owned a hotel. Check out that game. Mario and his hotel. I believe it was called Mario Hotel. Was it 2 CDI games? Yes, that's right. There was 2 CDI games that were, or Zelda games that were animated. One was like live action people overhead. Yeah. All of them had cutscenes. Even the Mario game had cutscenes. You can take a look at all the cutscenes on YouTube if you really wanted to. If you didn't want to actually play the game. Okay, so I can do this. Can I do this 2 ways? Can we fade it all after a game is selected? Or would that look strange? What do you think, Y2 Guru? Yeah, it actually is. Hotel Mario is, you could call it like a game that plays like a game, and you actually do things that you're expecting, like you jump and your character jumps properly, and you hit things and you can jump on things. It was like an arcade game, like a Mario arcade game. Whereas like Zelda, yeah, those are really tough to play because the controls are just not good. Yeah, so we can animate this either when you start selecting a game, the poster fades away, and then when you select a platform, I'm calling it game. When you start selecting a platform, the advertisement fades away, and you select one, and then it comes back. So that's fairly easy to do. I'm not sure if you can fade it out and back in after you've selected a platform already. So can you quickly enough? Oh yeah, 2 images, eh? I wonder if that's... Let's try it. Let's try it. 2 images, so you're right, you would need 2 images of the exact same thing. Yeah, so I would need to copy and paste this. Let's say put them on top of each other. Basically a complete duplicate. Platform advertisement 2. I would need to paste it exactly where it is. So there it goes. One of them, I'm gonna screw this up. Selected enduring, yeah. I won't be like messing this up. Let's call it selected and enduring. So the selected one is basically faded out. Once selected, actually you're right that I could just use this, I believe. Let's paste the animation on that. Oh, you notice when I did that it didn't give you a little A there. Okay, so that's okay. This one comes once it's selected. And this one should need to do the opposite. Which means I need to make this 100% during and 0% at the end. That makes sense? Am I scrolling up? Scrolling up where? Here? Properties of which one? In here? I'm on an advertisement. Oh, did I change? Where is that located? Once selected. I think that's what I want. Yeah. I think both of them needs to be once selected. Let's take a look. So you said that I can do this by just it's not working very well, is it? I'm not sure I want to make it. What do you guys think? Do you guys want the advertisement to be changing as you're selecting? So it's basically matching with the wheel as you move the wheel. Yeah, not sure I want to, as you scroll, I just want to make it so the fade is there. That's really the only difference that I want right now. Question is, you would have to have, I mean, it's gotta be pretty tricky here. Let's take a look. I might need to make the fade longer. So it would be easy to make it so that it goes away, so pops out, and then fades in, if that makes sense. But instead of it being like an actual crossfade, so what I'm trying to establish here, we're trying to do is a crossfade. But yeah, the crossfade is a little tricky here. I feel like it's possible though, if I just think about it for a second. Feel like just thought about the math. Let's see. So I have it. So during selection, we want to make it so that it's still there. I would have thought that this would work though, actually. Maybe it doesn't. Let's just go, yeah, you're right. Let's just go for simple right now. So what we can do is we can make it really simple here. So once selected, we want to do two things. We want right away, we want it to fade out instantly. If I put this to 0.1 and then over here we put point 0.2 and we bring it back and have that take 0.2. What does that look like? It looks like nothing, apparently. Did I just do something? Get rid of the selected. Once selected, it fades to 0. There's my mistake. And then after it fades to 0, it comes back and take. Okay. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to look at it in this preview screen. See how it switches and then fades out and then back in? Yeah, I don't like that. Now the question is, yeah, I could do that during selection fade out, but then as you're selecting, there is no advertisement. I could fix that by putting a generic advertisement under it, or some sort of generic poster. But let's take a look. I just want to see what it looks like when you publish the theme, if it's any different. Maybe it just looks just as bad. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just as bad. Okay, I think at this point we know what we have to do. Did not title this total games, and then total games count. Okay, what did we have to do? Yeah, so let's get rid of this one, and we're saying that hmm, 0.5. Just do like a eat out, and then during selection we want it to do the opposite. So it looks like this will be the cleanest option right here. Let's take a look. So it fades out, fades in, fades out, fades in. We can keep it like that. We can also add another image behind it, so you see that image behind it, whatever it is, and then it fades in. You know, it doesn't really matter. I don't have an image right now to put there. It could really be anything. Yeah, I think this is the best option we have right now. Okay, let's just do one last round before we move on, because this is sort of a crucial moment before we sort of copy and paste everything and then start making duplicates all over the place here. Okay. We are going to open this up. All right. Fades out. Virtual Boy fades in.
It came from the third dimension.
You know, good enough.
With its own brain.
Wii U.
We would like to play.
Okay. I found these commercials really funny too. Yeah. Oh man.
Make your me, then play it on Wii.
Hey!
Whoa.
You still don't have a Sega CD? What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show 'em!
Holy crap.
Want to see more?
All right. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so what we can do now is we can basically copy everything that I have here into a games view. And then in this case, we're gonna do just the first wheel games view. All right, just paste it in default. There you go. Okay. There's going to be a number of things that might not work. Let's take a look. I'm going to pick the Nintendo just as a standard at this point. What's a great Nintendo game? One I haven't done in a while. Barbie, that's the best game, I think, of any of the Nintendo games. Tailspin. I love the Tailspin games. What does it look like? Rugrats. I think you got the wrong era there, Y2Ker. Is there a Rugrats? There's not a Rugrats game. Alright, so we need to look at one game for a little while. Tailspin it is, I guess. So let's take a look. Now, in the game view, we have a whole bunch more things that we want to add. Information, images, and I thought a lot about, you know, how can we add it to, what is that? Oh, it's the index, right. So where would I put that? Oh, Momo the Wizard, thank you so much for that follow. There's two things that I can do. I think I'm gonna go with the whole concept of that things are, or the elements are within the world, and in order to do that, I am going to place this right here. God, I know that it's a little, might not work, but we'll find out, I guess. Leave it there. So I'm gonna add a scan line. And I know that that seems to be controversial. Some people don't like scan lines. And that's why I always add it as an extra image. I don't embed it into the background. So that if people don't like it, they can just delete the image or just remove this element. But there was a while ago I found the scan line and it just made it look so realistic. And if you really zoom into the scan line, I know I've showed it in the past videos, that they basically do 3 pixels next to each other, and it represents the RGB color scheme of a CRT. And when you put it over an image, it just makes it look, you know, like you're looking at your CRT screen back in the day. So the way that I do this is I say I don't want it or uniform to fill. I'm gonna put it like this. Actually, I guess there's not an option to stretch none. That'd be nice to have there. Trying to think here. I put this scan line behind. Actually, no, it's pretty much where I want it. I'm just gonna fill the whole background. There you go, that looks better, because I don't want it to be stretched at all. So it's behind. The only other spot where it could have shown was this lava lamp, but at this point the lava lamp's above above that layer, so now it just fills the background, and it makes it look pretty much as close as you're gonna get to an old CRT when you're at full screen here. Okay, so there's my scan line. What else am I gonna do? There are a number of things I want to do. Oh my god, thank you so much, Momo the Wizard, for that donation. I don't know where $6.94 comes from, but that's awesome. Let's take a look at a couple elements that you'd want to see in a screen like this. You'd basically want, you know, the media, so like the cartridge. You'd want the box art, which is not listed here. And there's ways to do this. The way that I want it, I'm going to approach it is I want it to be part of the scene. And so the only way that I can get away with that is to do the following. Here we have our background layer. And what we want is another group right above the background layer, and I'm gonna call this I'm really bad with names, so let's just call this the main game images. And what we need to add here is I created an image. We'll full screen this image, and I made it look like this. Huh? What did I do? It looks like I did absolutely nothing, but really what I did was if I make this image, the background, invisible, all I did was cut out the dinosaurs, the bottom ledge of the desk, and the TV. And I overlaid it over everything, the other background, in perfect placement. And what this will allow me to do is place elements within the image, like behind the dinosaur, for example, or behind the desk, making it seem like it's there. And now I have full control over placing certain image. And I'll give you an example here. So let's take a look at so this is our desk overlay, and I'm going to place this one behind it, and I'm going to call this one media. And just to make it more clear, cart or CD. And I'm going to go to metadata and choose the media. Game cart front. See what that looks like. There it is. There's the tailspin. We could do a few things here that'll make it really stick in. First thing I want to do is maybe add a background, or a drop shadow, I should say, just a slight drop shadow, something where it's not really contacting it. What's really funny is that, or what's really funny, what's really cool is that I also, on the overlay, I believe I added this this shadow here. You see the shadow of the dinosaur. So whatever I put under it, so see if I put something under it, the shadow now appears on the cartridge. Gives it even a little more depth. So I want to take a look. Something like that. And we want to really blur that to make it look like it's not really a contact shadow. It's more of like it's obscuring some of the light somewhere that's coming in from someplace. This is the best I can describe it. Alright, this is not great. So one thing that you want to do is, so this looks great. Let's take a look. Something like this looks great. It's in the background. It's part of there. It'll change with the game, but you know, not every single game, not every single system has a cart this size. So what you want to do is you want to give yourself the best chance when you're building this theme, and you're definitely looking at the alignment. So the alignment, we know that no matter what size we want a cartridge or a CD would be, we want it to go below the desk. So we want it to vertically align to the bottom. And then we also know that we want it to probably be in the center. Something like that. So no matter how skinny a media is, I'm thinking of something like TurboGrafx 16, for example, PC Engine, those games, they're really skinny, and they'll probably just encompass this whole space like that. You want to make sure it's in the middle and that it's at the very, very bottom. This is not going to work for every single system, unfortunately, but it's a good start. The second thing that we probably want is the box art. So let's create a box art image. I'm a big proponent for 2D box art. I know a lot of people like 3D box art. I feel like this will work with both. And probably use your image priorities within Launchbox itself. If you want to know why I like 2D box art better, I don't know. I just do. Okay, there's a problem. It's behind the poster. Okay. I'm also going to give this a similar drop shadow, so I'm going to paste the effect. There you go. And the reason I'm putting it here, so there's two things that I attempted before this stream is I attempted to erase that Nintendo system and then try to place like other systems there, and you can see. Let me see if I can show you. I attempted it. Oh god, I'm not even in the right bedroom. Let's say I attempted it on a Super Nintendo one. You can sort of see I got kind of it there, and I realized there was no way I was going to create one for every single option, and I thought, you know, a better option would just be to try to obscure the Nintendo logo and just put a giant box art there. You're right, the 2D box art just kind of looks a little cleaner. You know what you get out of it. It's like this has not really anything to do with anything, but I tend to get like really dizzy when I'm seeing a lot of images or things flashing on the screen or things slightly askewed that doesn't really fit there. I'm not sure why, and that's why whenever I'm designing something, I try to make it seem as either realistic as possible or clean as possible, or with as little movement as possible. I don't want things to just be like coming at me in every direction, or else I just can't look at it for very long. I feel like I'm not the only person like that, but it definitely influences the way what I design or how I design things. All right, how am I going to get around this? So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to place this box art above certain things. Let's see, here's the poster. The poster is here. What would happen if I placed the poster below the box art? Shouldn't make a difference, right? Now I can make this sort of the same size as this guy right here. Why is that? Oh no, I also need to bring down poster overlay. There you go. That's right. Skeuomorphism faded with iOS 6, or is it 5? Maybe it was 7. I think it was 7. iOS 7. Yeah. I remember everybody hating that. That was for people that had iPhones at the time and they upgraded to iOS 7, the majority of people absolutely hated when they got rid of skeuomorphism design philosophy. There's a big backlash. I didn't mind it so much. Alright, so I got to maybe make this a bit wider to make sure that it's going to fit wider box art, let's say, but not have it too high. At the same time, I also need to make it the same. Stick to the bottom. And do I want it centered? I don't think I do. Or does it even matter? Yeah, let's make it centered. All right, let's take a look. Overall, I don't mind it. Can anybody else think of any other information they want to see? For me, there's some cool things that I want to do. The first one is, of course, I left them on the top here, didn't I? Bring them down. Okay, these ones aren't going to work, obviously, since we're in the games view. We don't really want to see how many games we have. Instead, we want a couple other things. Release date, which is good. We've got the release date going on. We want the platform name to instead be game name, I'm assuming. Let's take a look at what we would have to change here. Game, just title. It is not just title, it's game. There you go. And that will also wrap around. And you know what, you might as well just do a character ellipsis if it's not going to fit within 2 lines. I don't really want it to be 3 lines. Okay, what other stuff would you guys want to see? Let's see our options here. So we have, I can think of a number of them. So play mode, yeah, the number of players, and you would want to see probably like genre, something like that. Let's see how many we can fit on this thing. Let's go with play mode. So the play mode text. How much can we copy? Let's take a look. Look here. I'm gonna paste the appearance. We're gonna paste foreground. I guess the alignment here. And let's do the rest ourselves. Always font. Let's take a look. So we could do something like what would look the best? Something like this, release date would be a bit under it. You know what? I think I need to vertical align this stuff. Okay, so single player, release, genre. Let's do genre. So genre, we really have to decide how many genres do we want to see. What's great about this is that we can do that. Let's do foreground and layout. So we can either have one. I mean, let's change the font before I get confused. And is it me or is that font size looking a little tiny? Pretty sure it's the same. And in this case, we'll just do vertical. Yeah, we're running out of space quickly, but let's see. I'll get rid of these just so that we can get some more space in there. I mean, it doesn't all have to be the same size, does it? What happens if I lower it to 9, which it did not like? Release date. So anyway, this is one genre. There's two genres. I mean, there's ways that we can make it look less busy, obviously. Yeah, two genres I think is our limit here. A way to make it look less busy is you can sort of fade out the color just slightly. I mean, we can do it by color change or opacity. Let's try color change. Oh, that's way too much. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with opacity, actually. It's easier to control. And I again don't like that at all. What am I going for? Maybe I don't mind it, actually. We got only 90, so let's take a look at what it looks like with all of them. We'll just do a little bit of experimenting a bit. I mean, it really depends. How much do we really want? Do we want to add like a publisher? Or, which I thought was really cool. I don't know if people would really want to see this, but I mean, we're going for nostalgia, right? The one thing I thought was to do this. Oh man, okay. I need to look up something. Oh, okay. Does this still work? I don't know if this is gonna work well, but no. That's so silly. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. Really want to move this up, or do that. That's actually better. Okay, give us more space. I feel like if you were like an 8-year-old kid, you would completely like have written that down on a sticky note in front of you. Let's do this. Let's actually look at the game. All right, so let's move this up 5. Just to look at the separation. There is the option, do we want to add the publisher? And if we do, where would that publisher go? It's a good question. You can already see that this is not entirely perfect. A bit better. What's great about this is that, hey, if you wanted publisher, you can always download the theme creator version of this and add it yourself. I'm trying to think if I like it the way that it is. Almost feel like, okay, this is gonna have to be centered. I want the release date to be the top one. Like that. Yeah, then we're gonna get into the, do we want publisher, do we want play mode? I guess it depends on the system, and it depends on how familiar you are with the system and the games. If you're looking for games you've never played before, maybe you want play mode. If you're looking at a system like Nintendo, one thing that you could say is that the box art usually has the publisher. Just like this, it's Konami. Do we want a second sticky note? Put it like here, or I don't know. When do you have too many sticky notes? But yeah, at this point, you know what we're missing for some reason? Did it not come over? We're missing the date. System time. Why is that not showing? Let's find out. I wonder if it's because I copied and pasted it from a platform view. I don't know if that makes a difference, to tell you the truth. Oh, I know why. I know why. And it has nothing to do with that. It's coming. There we go. It was behind everything, that's why. All right. I don't think I moved it. Although you never know. But, I mean, at this point, we could keep adding things, but let's take a look at what it actually looks like. All right, let's open it up. While it opens up, I'm just gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Hey! You still don't have a Sega CD? What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show 'em!
All right.
Want to see more?
Okay, I don't know what the heck Nightbot's doing. That was weird. Anyway, so what did I miss? Did I miss anything? I loved how that says, how the Sega CD one says, are you waiting for Nintendo to make a CD system? Yeah. Looking back now, you'd realize how long you would have to wait just to get a CD system. It's the first, I guess the first CD system was the GameCube. I guess they didn't have a CD system. They had a mini DVD system. And then a DVD system for the Wii. So, yeah, they never really did they? So Sega's right. You should have just bought a Sega CD if you wanted one. Okay, so let's take a look at the Nintendo, see if it looks like what it did before. Going in. There it is. Oh, you see, I left the animation on the platform. Look at that. I gotta get rid of that. Alright, let's take a look at what we see. So I was scared of this. So see the index? Sorry. See the index, game index. For some reason it can't shrink. I'm not sure I can leave it there. I don't know if it can't shrink, or if maybe Y2 Guru you just have to implement it to shrink. I'm not really sure why it's always stays the same size. I feel like it can shrink. I'm trying to remember if I ever did that. I know that I edited that element to make it look completely different than it was for a few themes. I can't remember if I changed the size of it. I know that I changed the font and the colors and all that stuff. So I feel like it could shrink, but at least for now, I'll probably have to remove it and put it somewhere else. That's okay. Let's take a look. So far, so good. Okay, so now the real test. Let's take a look at whoa. How about Super Nintendo? The box is much smaller and the cartridge is obviously smaller, but it's still there and it's still under the desk. Hey Rincewind, glad you can join. We are getting close to the end. Not quite. You know, I don't hate it. How about a CD system? Let's look at the PlayStation. I also don't hate it.
Welcome aboard, old friend. You're looking fine and fit. Does this war agree with you?
Yeah, like a pair of busted wings.
I just like to see Mark Hamill.
And how is the fine pilot and Comrade Angel?
Alright. How about the PC Engine? Not too bad. Let's look at the TurboGrafx 16. Still not bad. What else we got? I think this is where we're gonna fail here, is Game Boy, for example. Look how giant that cartridge is. Yeah, I think these are the systems, the systems with really tiny cartridges. They don't really look that great, do they? Or you just have a giant jumbo Game Boy cartridge. But this is pretty well solvable. I think for the vast majority of these type of cartridges, it wouldn't be bad enough to shrink them. to an appropriate size, or at least something not jumbo, but large enough to still see them. And yeah, I might as well show you guys how to do that at this point. So let's take a look.
It wasn't.
Let's shut it down, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it into the one that we know is wrong, which is Game Boy. We'll paste, and we'll pick a random game. Let's do one of these Batmans. There you go. Of course, I did not fix the problem here, so I'm going to have to do it twice. We're basically going to eliminate the animation on this poster. Okay. And let's see, what's the easiest way? I think we're going to have to do it this way. I think would be the best. Only that. It's still kind of hidden there. I don't know if it looks better on this side. And maybe in the middle. Okay, so it's there. It's more appropriately sized, I guess. Not like you're going to be playing a Game Boy game on your TV, but you know, what can you do? Before I forget, I'm going to go back to the default one and remove that animation. So for people that didn't really follow what I just did, the community theme creator has built-in ability to create a theme just for a particular system. So the Nintendo Game Boy, when you go into the Nintendo Game Boy system on your computer, you will see a slightly shrunken cart image instead of the default one. And then I can now copy this version and paste it into all the systems that I believe also need a shrunken cart, like the Game Boy Advance, for example. And the Game Boy Color. And the Pokemon Mini, which is really silly having it on a TV screen. To tell the truth, I don't even know if I have any of the carts. Let's see. There, I've got one. The Switch. The Virtual Boy. You know what? The Virtual Boy is actually larger, much larger than the Game Boy. It's large and thin. What else we got? We got Game Gear. I don't have all the systems, by the way, so this is what you would do if you were using this theme. Let's go to the bottom here. Sega Genesis, PlayStation, I guess PSP. I don't even know if I have any. No, I do though. Let's see. Okay, maybe I don't. All right. And I missed a few that you guys were mentioning. Like the 3DS, like the DS. I'm curious to know what the Game & Watch looks like. I don't have the best. I saw people releasing packs of like the actual Game & Watch systems. I don't actually have them. I should really update them. That one doesn't look too bad. I actually have one Game & Watch. I don't even know if you can emulate it. Let's see. What would it be called? No. I had two Game & Watches growing up. The first one was I believe Fire or something like that, where you're jumping out of a building. I thought I had that game actually. I don't see it here. And the second one was Boxing. Boxing was probably the coolest one because it had two tiny circular controllers inside of the system. You like open it up and then you pull out little tiny controllers with one button and a D-pad. I don't know why there's a D-pad. You can box against, used to box against my brother all the time. All right, let's take a look at a few more systems just to make sure we're doing okay here. I felt like I had CDs for the Wii system. Maybe I don't. Yeah, well. What else? And other cool things that you could do if you really wanted to hype this one up is, let's say you went to Sega Genesis or something and you create your own Sega Genesis theme. Then you can change whatever you want. You could change this Contra code to like a Mortal Kombat 2 code to bring on the blood. You can really get creative. Of course, now that I made all those copies, I can't remember if this would become something. But right now I'm gonna have to bring it up. Above probably all of this. And just sort of put it right in the middle here. Let's align it to the center. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do that to every single one at the moment, but you guys get the idea. The only thing left that I believe we have to do is do a text view. I think that's the only one. There's two text views, isn't there? So let's see what we can get away with, because the text view, actually, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna copy this one. Yeah, you really only need the game's text view. That's true. Where is it hiding? There it is. We can paste this and everything would basically be the way that it is. And the only thing that we really have to do is go to the text wheel, which is still already here. And in this case, I'll probably put it this way. It's not what I wanted to do at all. Put it something like this. I mean, We'll open it up a bit. Oh, thank you so much for that follow, Shin. Right, the TV trick will still work in this case. All we have to do is theme it. And what's great with Y2 Guru's additions, we can center the list to make it look really nice. We can change the font size, and it'll keep the font size on all the different types of resolutions. I can make it look exactly the way that I want it and not have to worry that someone's going to have a strange experience or a different size font. Now we just have to figure out a font. Thanks for stopping by, Scratcher. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one. I don't know. Let's see Mortal Kombat font. Can make this a bit bigger. Can't see it. I'm gonna go up to 20 and see what happens. That's better. I probably want a font that's very easy to read, but not too much. Guess while we're doing this, we should put it on top of the selected videos just so we can see it. Okay. I don't mind that. Very bold. Maybe it needs to be. I definitely want to play around with the style. So let's look at the presets that... Do I want it to wrap? That is a good question. Sure, let's make it wrap with overflow. I love how there's that option there. Let's look at the different presets. So we've got this cool one with a red shadow. We've got the red shadow and some border on top and bottom. We've got a more basic one, which I don't mind this one actually. It's not too bad. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. I can make this like a slightly bigger. Whoa, okay. That was too much. Can I do... No, I can't. Okay, I'm stopping at 20 then. Okay, let's keep going. 5. So 5 is the same as 4, but it's a slightly larger font. And it's yellow. And I believe these ones just are larger and largest. Which are really cool, but I almost feel like I want something like this, and then I could make it go all the way to the edge. Yeah, something like that. Simple, basic. I don't have to mess around with the styling. Yeah, I gotta move the wheel back. Thank you so much. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Now I have an entire text view within that amount of time. And you know what? I could do that exact same thing. It's basically an easy button. I can do that exact same thing with this. Boom, easy button. That's right. Go to the wheel. Bring it down a bit. Bring it up a bit. Choose the 4. and now just try to remember what font I actually used. I don't remember. I think it was this one. Wrap it. I could potentially copy and paste it, but you know, simple. As long as my memory's good, then I'm done. And now we have 4 views. We've got the regular platform view and the text view for platform, text filters view, and the regular game view and the text game view. The only thing that we have to worry about here and something, actually I'll show you guys the problem so that you have a full understanding of that we already have a solution for it, which is great. So here is the original problem. And then I'll solve it. Okay.
It wasn't humanly possible. All the power and excitement.
Okay, going in here, we'll pick, I don't know, Iron Sword. We switch to this view, you see? This is great. Now I want to go into the details of this view, and I want to go through the different options. Notice that the menu doesn't come back because I'm not switching the game. So that's why we have this. I don't know if that's too loud. If that's too loud, so don't worry, Jason. We've already solved this problem. And the way that we solved it here was so we'll go back to the select videos and we're going to add something called a trigger called during game detail selection. So it's a trigger specifically for when you want to trigger an animation while you're on the game details page. And since it's only a trigger, what we have to do then is do 2 things. Yeah, we want to trigger it to make it so that the video goes away within 0.2 seconds. But then we also need another trigger. Oh, we also need a second animation, I should say, to bring it back. I'm glad you remember, Jason. We want to bring it back. Let's say give it 1.5 seconds and also make it 0.2 seconds. And from the current opacity, it'll come back. So every time you click it up or down, it fades away. You choose the option that you want, and then in 1.5 seconds, it fades back. 10 minutes, and it gave such awesome results. I think it was a worthwhile 10 minutes. And a worthwhile 15 minutes in total. Thank you, guys. Let's see the results of that. You know, I'm probably gonna have to close this. Now if I publish it, let's see what it looks like. I hope I did this right. All right. do the same thing. I want to play Iron Sword. Okay, that changed something. I definitely changed something. There it goes. Notice it comes back. But it does work. I'm gonna have to adjust this a bit. Oh, I see why. Okay. Yeah, I can adjust that. Stop video. Play video. Much better anyway. You can see it, let's see it jumping from this view to this view. Awesome. All right. At this point, we pretty much have a package deal. I got to do a few tweaks here or there. But other than that, there's another theme. So I'll do those tweaks today, and I'll get this theme out on the forums at some point. Ah, another one down. I do have a big list of themes that I do want to get to, but I always want to hear more ideas. So if anybody does have any ideas, let me know. If you have any examples, send them my way on the forums. Did I show off the differences between default and platform specific? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You were shaving. I forgive you. Yeah, and I'll clean that up a little bit. I know that I have to do a little bit of cleanup, and then I will I will get this thing on the forums, and you guys can play around with it all you want. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one in a few weeks. All right, guys, take care, everyone.